Good evening. The City Council meeting of August 17th, 2026 is called to order at 6:30 p.m. Roll call, please.
Alderman Hlebeck.
Here.
Skirka. Here. Moylan. Oh, gosh, sorry. Sayed. Here. Merlin. Walston.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
Chairwitz.
Here.
All right, quorum is present. I'll now entertain a motion to convene in closed session under the following sections of the Open Meetings Act: probable and imminent litigation, acquisition of property, and pending litigation.
So moved.
Motion from Alderman Sayed, seconded by Alderman Skirka. Roll call, please.
Hlebeck.
Aye.
Skirka.
Aye.
Sayed.
Aye.
Walston.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Chairwitz.
Aye.
Motion carried. The City Council will now convene in closed session.
Nothing. I'm gonna take that home. I'll give it to you.
Do you need anything brought to closed session?
have questions? Is it okay to just stand up and ask?
You voted for it.
Good evening. The City Council is reconvened at 7:21 p.m. Good evening. Welcome to the City Council meeting of August 17th, 2026. Thank you for your patience. I know that we had just met in closed session. Can we have a roll call, please?
Alderman Levick.
Here.
Skirka.
Present.
Sayed.
Here.
Walston.
Here.
Smith.
Here.
You forgot Merlin.
Sorry. Yeah. Merlin.
Here.
And Sherritz.
Here.
A quorum's present. Please rise for the prayer and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I'll be offering the prayer this evening. Inspire us with hope and vision for a better future. Grant us with the courage to make decisions that build bridges and foster prosperity for all. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First up this evening is public comment. If any member of the audience has an item that's not on tonight's agenda that they want to talk about, now is your time to come on up and speak. Please approach the podium, speak into the microphone, state your name, address, group affiliation, if any. Comments, as always, are limited to 5 minutes. Please monitor the timing device on the podium. When you see the yellow light, it means you have 1 minute remaining. When you see the red light, it's time to wrap up. As always, please keep comments brief, to the point, non-repetitive, and relevant and germane to city business. Does any member of the audience have an item that they want to talk about not on tonight's agenda? Okay. Moving along to mayoral announcements. I've got a few for this evening. First up, the Des Plaines Community Shred Event. Des Plaines residents participated in the community shred event last Saturday, safely disposing of paper documents at the Public Works facility over on Joseph Schwab Road. Thank you to the city's Public Works team for their support and to everyone who attended and helped make this event a success. The city will be wrapping up the 2026 Food Truck Roundup Series tomorrow, Tuesday, August 18th from 5 to 8 p.m. at Library Plaza, 1501 Ellenwood Street. Residents, friends, and neighbors are invited to enjoy live music from Griffin Crowder beginning at 5:30 p.m., so grab dinner from a variety of food trucks and add some creativity to the chalk wall. Limited picnic table seating will be available, and guests are welcome to bring their own lawn chairs and enjoy the whole event. Parking will be available at the Des Plaines Public Library Garage, the Metropolitan Square Garage, and the Civic Center Garage. Make sure that you leave yourself a little extra time because we have the issue with the railroad going on right now. Also tomorrow evening, the Des Plaines Police Department will be hosting its open house for the remodeled police station right here at the municipal complex. Residents are invited to stop by the police station between 5 and 6:30 p.m. You'll get a guided tour. You'll get to see all of our new facilities and how it's helping to make policing better and more responsive than ever before. To cap off a busy evening in Des Plaines tomorrow as well, you'll have the opportunity to enjoy Disney's The Little Mermaid on the big screen at the Des Plaines Theater as part of the city's $1 family film series. Doors open at 6 p.m. and the movie starts at 7. Concessions, as always, are available for purchase, making it an affordable and memorable night out for the whole family. Finally, and this is my last one, looking ahead, the Des Plaines Fire Department will be hosting its annual open house at Fire Station 63, 130 East Thacker Street on Saturday, September 20th from 11 to 2. Bring the whole family to meet Des Plaines firefighters, explore fire trucks and specialty vehicles, enjoy some hands-on activities, and learn important fire safety tips through live demonstrations and educational displays. That one's a little farther out, but set your calendars. Moving along to Alderman announcements, we have Alderman Sherwitz.
Oh, well, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I thought I went first last time, but that's okay.
Alderman Smith wasn't here last time, sorry, so
Oh, okay.
you're good.
Anyway, thank you. I just had a quick thank you to everybody that put together the National Night Out. I thought that was a great event. It's grown. Thank you to all staff. I think it used to be more of a police thing when it first kind of started. It's kind of neat to see it really grow into a true community event where we had school board, a school district helping us. Almost every district or department in the city helped with media and food trucks. It was just a great event. And I also wanted to thank staff for allowing the aldermen that wanted to have their ward meetings right there to meet the customer, or all the residents that came through. So thanks for a great event. And that's all I got tonight. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Alderman. Alderman Klebeck.
None at this time, Mayor. Thank you.
Alderman Moylan.
None today, Mayor, thank you.
Alderman Skirka.
Nothing tonight, Mr. Mayor.
Alderman Sayed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do double back on Alderman Charwitz. The National Night Out, I think, was a very well-run and organized event, and I really enjoyed it. I had some friends that came with me, and they were very impressed on how everybody had did their forte, and it was really, really good, and thank you for that. The announcements I wanted to make, the mayor already made them, but I do want to say one thing. In this room here, we have an employee who's been with us for 9 years. She has done a great job, an outstanding job in our finance department. And Agnes, I want to thank you for all the years of service that you have done for us and the leadership that you have created in that finance department. As finance chairman for many, many years, you are really one of the better ones. You did a great job, and I want to thank you for all the great service, and I want you to continue that. Thank you. Also, I will have a ward meeting next month. I'm getting everything together, and I'll make the announcements then. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you very much, Alderman. Alderman Merlin.
Just one, besides the fact that my computer's locked out. But the American Legion at the Gent Center is having an event called Be the One Expo on September, what is it? The 20th, I believe. It's a Sunday. And it's September 20th at 10:30 to 5 o'clock. I'll have more on it at the next meeting, but I wanted to bring it up. Thank you. That'll be all, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman. Alderman Walston.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd also like to say what a success the National Night Out was. A lot of people showed up, very, very nice, well-behaved people, too, I have to say. And we gave out some things to them, some kids' games, some pens, and it was well-attended, and it was a good night. A good night for everybody who came and participated. I'd also like to mention that the Oakton Corridor meeting that we had a few weeks back was very informative. One thing I will say is there were some ideas about what could possibly be at the Kmart location. And really, most of what I saw, just about all of it, was housing, residential, apartments, condos, that kind of thing. I'm interested in seeing something in that area that would actually bring in revenue for the city to help keep taxes down for the residents. Something like a Lowe's, a Woodman, IKEA, something that will actually generate some positive cash flow for the city. So I think we need to really think hard about just only looking at residential opportunities in that area. But it was a good meeting, it was a good proposal, and I think we have a good future going with the Oakland Corridor. Also, I'd like to mention the movies, which the mayor already did, but there's two family movies left, Little Mermaid and Shrek, and we are working on movies for older people that the reason it's basically coming to an end for the family is because school's going to start. And a lot of people think that they're not interested in bringing their kids out on a Tuesday night when maybe they should be doing their homework or getting ready for the next day of school. So keep in mind we're working on more movies throughout the rest of the year. Thinking about Rocky Horror Picture Show around Halloween. Grinch around Christmas would be a good one. And any ideas, email me. We'll take a look at it. What's that? Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Alderman Walston. Alderman Smith.
Thank you, Mayor. I have no comments tonight. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Clerk, any announcements?
Yeah, I just got one short one, and this is actually about upcoming municipal elections. Believe it or not, but we actually have an upcoming municipal election this upcoming April 2027. And for the City Council and the general public's information for their awareness, the city clerk's office has been working on a process of bringing back candidate guides. So if you are a candidate who is interested, or any residents who are interested in learning about how the election process works, starting August 25th, we're going to have some more information available in the clerk's office. So keep your eye out for more information starting next week. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. City Manager's report.
Good evening, and thank you, Mayor. I have a brief update this evening. The City of Des Plaines broadcasts city council meetings on the city's website, desplainesil.gov/livestream, and on DPTV through local cable providers. We are excited to announce that beginning today, residents can also watch meetings on the city's YouTube channel at youtube.com/City of Des Plaines. This new option gives residents another convenient way to follow city council meetings on any device compatible with a YouTube app. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's great. You know, so many people these days that have cut cords have Rokus and Fire Sticks and all these other things, and having a way to watch on the TV is great. So good work to our Media Services Department. General Counsel report. Okay. Mr. Clerk, I think we had a proclamation today that we may have skipped over. Sorry, that was my fault. Could we read that into the record as well?
Yes, we can. So we have a proclamation for, I'll take a read at it. So, whereas on August 24th, 1991, the Parliament of Ukraine formally declared an independent, sovereign, and democratic state, a decision overwhelmingly affirmed by the Ukrainian people in a national referendum later that year. And whereas Ukrainian sovereignty and traditional integrity, along with the rights, language, and culture of the indigenous Crimean Tatar people, continue to face ongoing threats. And whereas Ukraine has a long shared special bond with the United States through a common commitment to freedom, democracy, and the rule of law. And whereas we honor the courage, resilience, and the sacrifice of the Ukrainian people as they continue to defend their freedom and independence. And whereas the people of the United States have welcomed Ukrainians displaced by the war and generously supported humanitarian relief efforts for those affected by Russia's invasion. And whereas Ukrainian Americans in Des Plaines have enriched our city through their cultural traditions, civic involvement, and contributions to the social and economic fabric of our community, while preserving their proud heritage and enduring connection to Ukraine. And now, therefore, Mayor Andrew Gajikowski of the City of Des Plaines does hereby proclaim August as Ukrainian Independence Month.
Thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. Moving along this evening to the consent agenda. Does any member of the City Council or member of the audience wish to remove any item from tonight's consent agenda? Hearing none, may I have a motion to establish the consent agenda? Motion from Alderman Sayed, seconded by Alderman Merlin. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. As always, all items on the city's consent agenda can be viewed on the city's website, where we post our packet in full. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Motion from Alderman Skirka, seconded by Alderman Walston. Roll call, please.
Alderman Levick.
Aye.
Moylan.
Aye.
Skirka. Sayed. Merlin.
Aye.
Walston.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Sherwitz.
Aye.
Motion carried. Moving along this evening, we have 2 reappointments and 2 appointments. The following individuals are my newly selected appointees and reappointments to the Library Board of Trustees. These will be on the consent agenda for final approval on the next meeting of September 8th, 2026. For appointments to the Library Board of Trustees, we have Jennifer Beckman for a term to expire June 30th, 2028, and Luisa Quasigroch for a term to expire June 30th, 2029. The 2 reappointments are Rachel Rice for a term to expire at the end of June 2029, and Nick Harkovich for another term to expire in June of 2029. Their information is available in the packet for the council to look through. Moving along to new business, we have one item with the Finance and Administration Committee with Chairman Sayed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We have one item on the warrant, and it's the warrant register R-185-26 in the amount of $4,350,936.37. Any questions from the alderman? Any questions from the audience? Mr. Mayor, I make a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Motion from Chairman Sayed for passage of Resolution R-185-26, seconded by Alderman Skirka. Let's have a roll call, please.
Alderman Moylan.
Aye.
Skirka.
Aye.
Sayed.
Aye.
Merlin.
Aye.
Walston.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Chairwitz.
Aye.
Chlevek.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for all your work. Moving along to the Community Development Committee, we have Chairman Moylan.
Thank you, Mayor. Community Development has 3 items on tonight's agenda. We'll start with item A, consideration of an ordinance approving major variations for pole sign setback for Marketplace Shopping Center at 741 West Gulf Road. At this time, I'll turn it over to Director Rogers for a review of the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, Mayor and Aldermen. The subject property is a large shopping center at the southeast corner of Elmhurst Road and West Gulf Road. The property is improved with 2 existing multi-tenant pole signs, one at the main entrance on Gulf Road, one at the main entrance to Elmhurst Road, and it is in the city's C4 Regional Shopping Center District. The existing multi-tenant signs are located in close proximity to the public right-of-way, both on the north and west ends of the property. The proposal would be to replace the existing signs with new signs that would be slightly shorter, but they would be in the same physical location. We have a rendering from the applicant of the proposed design. The minimum sign setback is 5 feet for a 20-foot sign, and an additional foot of signage is allowed for every additional 3 feet of setback. If new 24-foot signs were proposed on any C4 property, the minimum setback would be 17 feet. The existing sign along Gulf Road and the proposed sign would be set back 9 feet instead of a minimum of 17. And the new sign along Elmhurst Road would be set back at a setback of 12 feet instead of a minimum of 17 feet. The Planning and Zoning Board had a public hearing on July 28th. During that public hearing, they heard comments and testimony and ultimately decided to recommend approval by a 5-1 vote to the City Council for the major variations needed to accommodate these signs, subject to some specific conditions related to additional information required as part of the permit application process. Representative of the applicant is here, and I can try to answer any questions related to the zoning ordinance requirements for multi-tenant signage. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. This time, I'll open it up to the council for any discussion. I believe it is in the 4th Ward.
Yes.
Any comments, Alderman? No.
I agree with what's going on. I have no problem with it.
All right.
Let me say this. I have no problems. I haven't had one resident say anything about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Any additional comments from the council? Any comments from the audience?
I'll make the motion.
All right.
Okay, so motion from Alderman Sayed, seconded by Alderman Skirka, for passage of ordinance Z-19-26 on first reading. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Item B, consideration of a resolution in support of a Class 6B real estate tax incentive for Midwest RE Acquisitions, 555 Santa Rosa Drive. Back to you, Director.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll introduce the city's Economic Development Manager, Susie Aguilar.
Thank you, Director Rogers. Good evening. The applicant Midwest RE Acquisitions LLC is requesting City Council support for a Cook County Class 6B real estate tax incentive for the property located at 555 Santa Rosa Drive. The proposed redevelopment includes demolition of the existing industrial building and construction of a new 87,000 square foot Class A industrial facility. The applicant proposes approximately $9.5 million in private investment, or $109 per square foot, which exceeds the city's minimum investment threshold for consideration of a Class 6B incentive. Upon completion, the facility will be marketed to warehousing, assembly, or manufacturing users. A future tenant is expected to employ approximately 25 full-time employees, which represents 50% of the minimum employment requirement established by the City Council policy. The applicant has requested a partial waiver of this requirement as part of their application. This slide shows the location of the subject property along Santa Rosa Drive and South Wolf Road, as well as the surrounding industrial area. This slide shows the plat of survey for the subject property. The applicant has affirmed that the Class 6B incentive is necessary for the redevelopment to occur. If approved, the incentive would reduce the property's assessment level from 25% to 10% for the first 10 years. increase to 15% in year 11, 20% in year 12, and return to full assessment in year 13. The application also requests City Council support for the property's designation to Cook County as new construction and substantial rehabilitation. The proposed redevelopment is expected to generate private investment, create employment opportunities, and return the property to productive industrial use. This slide illustrates the applicant's proposed Class A industrial facility, which would replace the existing building currently located on the property. As part of the application, a 12-year property tax projection was prepared. Scenario A assumes no investment is made and the property remains in its current condition, generating approximately $2.7 million in property tax revenue over 12 years. Scenario C assumes the proposed investment is made and the redevelopment is granted a Class 6B incentive. With the reduced assessment, the redevelopment is projected to generate approximately $5 million in property tax revenue over the same period, an increase of roughly $2.5 million compared to Scenario A. Over the 12-year incentive period, the Class 6B incentive is projected to provide the property owner with approximately $6 million in property tax savings compared to redevelopment without the incentive. The applicant has submitted all required materials for review, and following City Council action tonight, will proceed with its application to Cook County. Staff recommends consideration of Resolution R-186-26, supporting the applicant's Cook County Class 6B application for 555 Santa Rosa Drive. The applicant and attorney are also present and available to answer any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Aguilar, for the review of the applicant. A lot of 6Bs going through. It's been a good tool to encourage industrial growth and create new jobs, and it is in the 5th Ward where there's been a lot of activity, so I'll offer up to Alderman in the 5th Ward.
Yeah, I don't have any issues with this. The one waiver we're looking for is less employees than normally is required, correct? Yeah. So 25 instead of 50, Jeff?
Yeah, so I'm glad you brought that up. So the policy of the City Council for new construction is a minimum of 50 new full-time jobs. The applicant, due to the square footage and the intended use, expects to be able to comply with at least 25. Not knowing the tenant, they aren't affirming that they won't be able to get 50 full-time employees, but they don't want to commit to that without knowing that a waiver would be supported by the City Council. In response to that, I just wanted to point out, if the City Council makes a recommendation or moves to approve this resolution, there were a couple of Scrivener's errors on page 2 of the resolution. In section 2, revised copy correctly references at least 50 new full-time employees are required, where 25 are proposed. In section 6, that number was also updated to reflect 25 full-time positions proposed.
Thank you. I didn't mean it as a negative. We can't control and displays where the people would work their come from anyways. So I look at this as we're improving a property, and I agree with Alderman Moylan that, we've done this before. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't go in this route. So I'm for it when the time comes.
Thank you, Alderman. Any additional comments from the council? Any comments from the audience?
Yeah.
If not, is there a motion, Alderman?
I'll make a motion to approve R-186-26.
As amended, right, for the Scribner's errors?
Well, I'm reading off the amended one, so yes.
Okay, so motion from Alderman Merlin, second by Alderman Smith in this case. Let's have a roll call, please, for passage of Resolution R-186-26 as amended.
Alderman Skirka.
Aye.
Sayed.
Aye.
Merlin.
Aye.
Walston.
Aye.
Smith.
Aye.
Chairwitz.
Aye.
Klebeck.
Aye.
Moylan.
Aye.
Back to you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mayor. Item C is consideration of an ordinance approving zoning text amendments regarding accessory structure regulations. Back to you, Director.
Thank you. This item is an amendment to Title 12 of the city's municipal code. This is regulations related to accessory structures across various zoning districts. The current code provides pretty clear regulations for certain uses, but ambiguous regulations for certain scenarios that would be addressed through this amendment. The first of those would be separation of requirements for accessory structures, including detached garages and carports. in single-family residential and two-family residential areas versus those in townhome residential and multifamily residential areas versus non-residential uses. The amendments propose to keep the current regulations that are applicable to single-family and two-family residential uses. Clarifications would be added to the townhouse residential and multifamily residential uses to allow single-story detached garage and carport structures, provided that they don't comprise more than 15% of the total lot area with a maximum floor area of 720 square feet. The multiple story detached parking garage structures would similarly not be allowed to exceed 15% of the lot area, 720 square feet. And all other accessory structures would have to comply with the current requirements of that section. In regard to non-residential uses, some new requirements would be introduced. Single-story detached garage and carport structures would have to match the current standards regarding the quantity, height, setbacks, and size. Multiple-story detached structures would have new requirements introduced when located on a lot that abuts a residential district. The height of the multiple-story detached garage could not exceed the maximum height of the principal structure in an abutting residential district. And then the building design review standards would apply to all single-story detached garages and carports, as well as multi-story detached garages that exceed 720 square feet. And then a maximum of one multi-story detached parking garage structure would be permitted on a non-residential zoning lot. For all other accessory structures, sheds, pergolas, gazebos, etc., they would not be limited in quantity, but would have to be located behind the face of the principal building, set back at least 5 feet from side and rear lot lines, and would not exceed 225 square feet for zoning lots of 20,000 square feet or less, and 10% of the zoning area for lots greater than 20,000 square feet. We looked at several scenarios. The Planning and Zoning Board did some analysis and discussion of some examples provided by staff, which I'll summarize at this time. We identified a few existing large properties that have these types of improvements to clarify and identify the need to clarify the code to allow certain structures. Here's an example of a multifamily zoning lot with several existing single-story detached garages located across the property. Here we have a multifamily district with both indoor structured parking and outdoor parking. This demonstrates where proposed outdoor garages or carports could be located on the property as an example of a permitted use. Here's another example on the left of a multifamily and on the right of a two-family, showing where these garages could be located in existing areas of parking and that would comply with the code. This was a visualization of one of the larger examples that on a property that does not directly abut a different non-residential zoning district. That does not abut a residential zoning district. The height of the accessory structure would be limited to 45 feet. This would allow a multi-story parking garage as well as a commercial use on the property or any combination thereof. Here's an example of a commercial use showing areas where carports and garages would be allowed. And then we have some large-scale examples of large institutional uses where new parking garages would be allowed in compliance with the code, trying to demonstrate scale and area. Whenever an amendment to the city code is proposed, the code recommends the city council consider the various standards of the ordinance. The Planning and Zoning Board heard this case and heard testimony and provided discussion and consideration, after which they made a recommendation unanimously by a 4-0 vote to recommend the City Council approve the proposed text amendments as presented in the ordinance. I can attempt to answer any questions about the process or the specific requirements, which again are intended to create a legal process for both existing and new accessory structures across multifamily and non-residential districts. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. At this time, we'll open up to the council for any discussion of the text amendments. Alderman Sherwitz.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I tend to always have something to have to say. One thing that I noticed in here is most of the setbacks are 10 feet that we're adding. Meaning from the backyard, this structure would have to come off the property line 10 feet, then start, then a garage, and then like probably a driveway or a working area or something. I wonder what councils would think about reducing that to a 5 feet setback. A lot of times, especially like I'm thinking when we're redesigning Oakton Street, some of those lots are pretty small. So if you've got to come off an alley 10 feet and then put your structure, whether it be a storage garage or maybe even, I know this isn't there, but the precedent would be set for like your garbage dumpster area, stuff like that. I would rather see the 5 feet used in front where cars sometimes park up against the door going in. You have somebody inside, but then when you're unloading a car, you would be outside. So seeing that garage actually set back more toward the grassy area, I think would be an advantage throughout the city, is my opinion. So I don't know how hard it would be to amend the setbacks to 5 feet instead of 10, but I think that would be a huge thing when we're trying to redevelop some of the areas. So that's my only comment. Other than that, it looks great. And ZBD board approved everything, so I think we're good to go. But the setbacks, especially in the non-residential use, I think could be 5 feet very easily. Any other comments?
Thanks, Alderman. Any additional comments? Audience, any comments from the audience?
Is there a
Motion?
I'd be happy to approve a motion. Can I amend it like that? That simple?
Yeah, a
Ordinance.
motion to approve with amendments
Or-
to the setback, rear and side yard setback
Right.
requirements for garages and carports in non-residential districts.
For ordinance Z-20-26 as amended at first reading.
Okay, motion from Alderman Sherwitz to pass ordinance Z-20-26 on first reading. Is there a second? Alderman Moylan. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Are there any other Alderman comments for the good of the order? I know Alderman Sayed, you had mentioned that there's a ribbon cutting tomorrow at 2 p.m. at the Laundry and Displays at 795 Elmhurst Road. If you're interested in coming on out, we'll see you there. All right. May I have a motion to adjourn? Motion from Alderman Eskerka, seconded by Alderman Sayed. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. The City Council meeting of August 17th, 2026 is adjourned at 7:53 p.m. Good night.